Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to really get into what makes us humans so unique.
Okay.
We're going to be using excerpts from Jared Diamond's book, The Third Chimpanzee, to kind of guide our discussion.
Sound good.
It's a really fascinating look at, our evolutionary history and what sets us apart from all the other animals out there.
Right.
And, it's interesting to think about this because genetically speaking, we're not as different from chimpanzees as you might think.
Yeah, it's true. We actually shared 98% of our genes with them.
98%.
Yeah.
It's incredible, right?
It is.
So that means just this tiny little 2% of our DNA accounts for all the things that make us human. Language, art, technology.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what's packed into that tiny percentage that makes such a huge difference.
Yeah. It really does. And it raises some really interesting questions. For example, how did that 2% lead to such dramatic differences in our behavior and capabilities? Diamond explores this idea in detail, arguing that a pivotal moment in our evolution was the Great Leap Forward.
Oh, yeah, the Great Leap Forward. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. So this occurred around 40,000 years ago, and it marked a really sudden explosion of human innovation and cultural development. So, our ancestors began creating more sophisticated tools, developed these advanced hunting strategies, and even started producing cave art and other forms of symbolic expression.
It seems like things really took off for humans during this period.
Absolutely. And a lot of experts believe this period also witnessed the development of complex language.
Oh, wow.
And this ability to communicate and share ideas, that was likely a game changer.
Yeah.
It allowed for greater cooperation, knowledge transfer, cultural complexity. It really exploded from there.
So language was a key ingredient in our leap forward.
Most likely.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. It's fascinating to think about how this one development could have had such a profound impact on our species.
Indeed. Now, another really intriguing aspect of human uniqueness lies in our rather unusual life cycle compared to other primates.
Oh, that's right. We have a lot of unique characteristics when it comes to that. For example, concealed ovulation. Unlike many animals, human females don't have these obvious outward signs of fertility.
Right.
What are some of the theories behind that?
Well, there are a number of theories, and Diamond discusses several in the book. Some suggest it was a way for women to secure more consistent care from men,
Okay.
by keeping them guessing about their fertile periods. Others propose it was a strategy to confuse paternity.
Oh.
And potentially enlist support from multiple males.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So a bit of mystery might have been beneficial for our ancestors.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. And there are other unique aspects of our life cycle, too, like our tendency to form these long-term pair bonds.
Monogamy.
Right.
And yet we also see extramarital affairs occurring. It's a very curious combination.
Yes, it's a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
We form these strong pair bonds, but we also engage in behavior that seems to contradict that.
Right.
Diamond actually points out that this is actually similar to patterns observed in geese.
Okay.
Who also form strong pair bonds, but have been known to engage in what they call extra pair copulations.
So maybe there's more to monogamy than meets the eye. It's certainly a complex issue.
Absolutely. And speaking of complexity, the human lifespan and menopause also stand out. Why do we live so long compared to other primates, and why do women go through menopause when it seems counterintuitive to reproductive success?
It's true. You'd think evolution would favor individuals who could reproduce for as long as possible.
Right.
Why stop at a certain point?
Well, Diamond delves into these questions. He explores the concept of evolutionary trade-offs. One theory suggests that living longer allows us to pass on this accumulating knowledge and skills to future generations, which benefits the species as a whole.
Okay, yeah.
As for menopause, there's the grandmother hypothesis,
Okay.
which posits that women, once past their childbearing years, can actually focus on helping to raise their grandchildren, increasing their chances of survival.
That's interesting. So instead of continuing to have children, older women can focus their energy on ensuring the success of their existing descendants.
Exactly. It's a fascinating perspective on how seemingly counterintuitive traits might actually confer evolutionary advantages. And all of this kind of begs another question about human uniqueness.
Yeah.
What about our capacity for self-destruction? It seems like a contradiction considering all the amazing things that we're capable of.
Yeah, it's true. We engage in behaviors that seem to go against our very survival instincts.
Right.
Like, why would we intentionally consume things that are harmful to us, like drugs and alcohol?
Yeah.
It's a puzzle for sure.
It is. And Diamond addresses this puzzle by examining various theories. One of the most interesting is the handicap theory.
Okay.
And this theory suggests that these risky behaviors can actually signal strength and fitness to potential mates.
Oh, okay. So it's like saying, look how tough I am. I can indulge in these dangerous substances and still survive.
Precisely. It's a way of demonstrating that you possess superior genes that can withstand these challenges. Diamond gives some pretty captivating examples of this, like the kung fu masters in New Guinea who drink kerosene as a test of strength.
Drinking kerosene, that's a bit extreme.
It certainly is. And in our modern world, these instincts, while possibly adaptive in our evolutionary past, can lead to problems like addiction. Another example that Diamond cites is the ancient Mayans' use of intoxicating enemas.
Wow, intoxicating enemas. That's a whole other level.
It highlights how ingrained these tendencies toward risky behavior can be. Now shifting gears a bit. All of this discussion about human uniqueness on Earth kind of leads to another intriguing question. Could it have happened elsewhere, too? Could there be other intelligent life forms out there in the universe?
That's a question that has fascinated humans for centuries.
It has.
Are we alone in the vastness of space?
Well, Diamond tackles this question by introducing the concept of convergent evolution. This is the idea that similar traits can evolve independently in different species due to similar environmental pressures.
So like bats and birds both developing wings because flight is advantageous in their respective environment.
If wings, eyes, and even intelligence evolved multiple times here on Earth, it stands to reason that it could have evolved elsewhere in the universe as well.
Yeah. The universe is so incomprehensibly vast. It seems almost impossible that there wouldn't be other life forms out there. Maybe even intelligent ones.
Yeah, the odds do seem to favor the existence of extraterrestrial life. However, Diamond cautions against assuming that alien life, even intelligent life, would be just like us.
Right. Evolution takes many paths, even here on Earth.
Exactly. And to illustrate this point, he uses a fascinating example: woodpeckers.
Woodpeckers, what's so special about them?
Well, while they might seem ordinary, woodpeckers have evolved unique adaptations. Strong beaks, shock-absorbing skulls, these specialized tongues that allow them to hammer into trees and extract insects.
Yeah, I've seen them in action. They're like little drumming machines.
They are. And these adaptations evolved independently in different woodpecker lineages.
Yep.
A prime example of convergent evolution. But here's the intriguing part. There are no woodpecker equivalents in places like New Zealand and Madagascar.
No woodpeckers in those places. But they have trees, right?
They do. But because these islands have been isolated for so long, other birds like honey eaters and even a type of primate called the aye have evolved to fill the woodpecker niche.
So even with similar environments and ecological roles to fill, evolution can come up with vastly different solutions.
Exactly. It underscores the remarkable diversity of life. And it suggests that if intelligent life did evolve elsewhere, it might be intelligent in ways we can't even fathom. Their technology, culture, even their physical forms could be radically different from anything we know.
So maybe those stereotypical little green men in flying saucers are not what we should be expecting.
Probably not. But that makes the possibilities even more exciting to contemplate, And it reinforces the importance of appreciating the incredible diversity and ingenuity of life right here on Earth.
It really makes you wonder what other forms intelligence could take out there in the universe. Thinking about all this, it strikes me that while we often focus on the individual traits that make us unique, we can't forget the bigger picture, the impact of geography and history on shaping civilizations.
That's an excellent point, and it's something that Diamond delves into, extensively. He argues that a key factor contributing to the rise of civilizations and the differences in technological development between different parts of the world is the availability of plants and animals suitable for domestication.
So you're saying that the types of plants and animals that are available in a particular region could influence the development of entire societies.
Precisely. Eurasia, for instance, had a really significant advantage in this regard. They had wheat, barley, sheep, goats, cattle, horses. I mean, this wealth of species that were relatively easy to domesticate, cultivate, and transport.
So it's almost like a geographical lottery. Some continents were just dealt the better hand.
You could say that, but it's not just about the species themselves. It's also about geography. Eurasia's east-west orientation, that meant that similar climates stretched over vast distances. And this allowed domesticated species, along with, the technologies associated with them, to spread much more easily than in, the Americas, which have a north-south orientation and a wider range of climates.
That makes sense. Like a farmer in ancient Mesopotamia could travel east for thousands of miles and still find, suitable conditions to grow his crops.
Exactly. And this facilitated the exchange of ideas, technologies, and even diseases, ultimately, shaping the course of history.
It's fascinating how seemingly minor geographical differences could have such profound and long-lasting consequences.
Indeed. And these historical patterns continue to influence the world we live in today. The legacies of colonialism, conquest, and technological disparities are all rooted in these deep historical and geographical trends.
So are you suggesting that we're still playing a game with rules that were set thousands of years ago?
In some ways, yes, but understanding the past can help us make more informed choices in the present and create a more just and equitable future. Diamond's ultimately optimistic about humanity's potential. He believes that by understanding our past, both the good and the bad, we can learn from our mistakes and build a better world.
Yeah. It's a hopeful message. Despite our self-destructive tendencies, we still have the capacity for progress and positive change.
Absolutely. We possess intelligence, creativity, and compassion. The question is, will we use those gifts to create a better world or succumb to our darker impulses?
That's a question worth pondering. It reminds me of something Diamond asked near the end of the book. If extraterrestrials were to visit Earth, what would they find most fascinating about us?
It's a thought-provoking question. Would they be impressed by, our art and music, our scientific achievements, our capacity for love and compassion, or would they be horrified by our wars, our pollution, our capacity for cruelty? What legacy are we creating, and what future are we shaping?
That's a powerful question to leave our listeners with.
Uh,
As we wrap up our deep dive into the third chimpanzee, we encourage you to reflect on those questions. What makes us human? What is our place in the universe? And what kind of future will we choose to create? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it as thought-provoking as we did. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.